Hello and welcome to the Browns post-game show. The roadman Kenny Roda here with you following the Browns' 16-6 loss to the Las Vegas Raiders on a weather-controlled game, I guess is the best way to put this. We had started hearing reports earlier in the week about how the weather was going to be a factor in Sunday's game at the stadium, and sure enough, it was. And surprise, surprise, they travel from the left coast from Las Vegas, and they had to travel, how many miles is that? I don't know. I don't do that. A long way. That's the best way to put it. A long way. And you would think the Browns would handle the weather better, and the Raiders would have trouble with the weather and traveling from Las Vegas. But no, the Raiders, for whatever reason, able to handle the time zone difference. This was a 10 a.m. start for them, and the cold weather, the windy weather, the snow, the rain, whatever it was, and the Raiders come away with a 16-6 win over the Browns to drop the Browns to 5-3. And so the Browns built a little momentum last week with the win over Cincinnati. They give it right back. Now they head into the bye week at 5-3. Their next game will be against Houston on November 15th. Nick Chubb maybe will be back for that game. We'll have to wait and see. They could have used him today, no doubt about it. But what we're going to do is we're going to break it down for you right now, and I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled to bring into the broadcast studio my old radio partner, afternoon R&R, my man Michael Reghi. Reg, how are you today, brother? I see that. You got the gear on, right?
I will unmute my mic as well and see if we are squared away here. Let's see. We'll bring this baby up, and I'll bring my baby up, and we'll see how we are here doing this stuff, this crazy technology stuff that we're doing. We're two old guys doing this, Reg, right? Two old guys doing this, trying to figure out how the heck to get this thing to work. I'm on mute, can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves. So it's saying you're muted. So turn off your mute, and then we'll do what we do best, and that's talk for a living and get this thing up and running. And this Browns 16-6 loss to the Raiders today. I'm surprised that the Browns did not handle the elements at all today. I thought for sure the Raiders would be the team that had trouble handling the elements today, but it was the Browns who seemed to have trouble with the elements, and the Raiders with that power running game and then that short passing game, Michael, they were able to handle it better than the Browns.
Kenny, no question about it. Can you hear me okay?
I got you now. We're good to go. Beautiful. Technical difficulties taken care of. You know what? That was like some of the missed opportunities the Browns had today with you and I starting here, but we'll get to that. But go ahead.
Yeah, listen, Kenny, I tell you what, you know you're going to be in trouble. The Raiders had 3 possessions of 8 minutes plus today. The last I looked, you probably got the stats up here. I think the time of possession wound up something like 37-23 in favor of the Raiders. And look, and again, if you'd have told me a couple of months ago the Browns are going to be 5-3 going into the bye week and the break, I think we all would have said, sign us up. We'll sign us up and we'll take that and get the break done and then deal with, in the next 3 games. I don't even want to say winnable anymore because Son Cal and I were talking about that. Look, at the end, we know this. I don't think you could say that. Whomever the Browns are playing, oh yeah, that's a guaranteed win. No, it's not. They're not the type of football team yet. Do you like having the Eagles, the Jags, and Houston? Sure, but again, look, Kenny, they got out physicaled once again today, big time. the running game of Oakland. Oakland. Yeah, I knew I would.
You did it. That's $5, Reg. That's a $5 fine right there.
I'll send it to you.
All right.
This Raiders running game again, again with Josh Jacobs and Deontay Booker. You have the bottom line, I'm sure, but the last time I looked, they were over $150. And the time of possession, Browns, they've been out physical in the terrible outing at Pittsburgh. They were out physical in the terrible outing at Baltimore, and they were out physical once again today by, to me, a Raiders team that doesn't match up with Baltimore and Pittsburgh in terms of toughness and physicality. So they got to find a way. And defensively, look, we know there's issues here. And if I'm Andrew Berry right now, Andrew, next April, if you decide to use every one of your draft picks on defense, I'll give you a raised twitch fist. All good with me, Kenny, because, boy, they need a lot, especially in the back seven, the linebackers in that second.
Reg, I'm in 100% agreement with you. I wrote down, you and I, we're old school. I know how you prepare for your games, right? All the technologies and all that stuff. No, this is old school right now. Stats here. 309 total yards for the Raiders, 223 for the Browns. How about this? The Raiders rushed for 208 to the Browns 101. And the Browns, now Nick Chubb's out. And you know what? It showed today how much they really missed him. This was a day where you needed Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt is a nice back. That combo back, right? That runner and catcher out of the backfield. Nick Chubb would be that power guy you needed on a day like today. And the difference there, as you talked about the running game, it was up front. The Browns' offensive line didn't get great push at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack today. The Raiders dominated, and you're right. Those scoring drives, Reg, I wrote them. Oh, my goodness gracious. 16 plays, 58 yards. 15 plays, 75, and 13 and 74, all over 8 minutes today.
That's exactly right. 3 drives of over 8 minutes. Look, you're not going to win very many games in the NFL that way. I'm sorry. I don't care what the offensive weapons you have. And you know what, quite frankly, especially not the elements today that they factor in, sure. But listen, when you get out physical and out tough like that, as you just said, at the point of attack, and again, another guy I think we're seeing against teams that that know and understand they're going to try to take your run game away from you. Of course, Nick Chubb and Austin Hooper. How about Wyatt Teller too, Kenny?
Yeah, that's right.
I think when he went out, was he not rated by Pro Football Focus as the #1 offensive guard? It might be overall, but I know it was in run blocking. And so they missed him in a big, big manner as well.
Yeah, Reg, I've got some questions coming in. We're going to continue to give our breakdown of this today, but I'm going to throw some of these out here. And this is all new to me, man. So I'm going to see if I pop these babies up on the screen, if you can see them.
I can.
Singleton, how about that? Look at me, producer, director, on-air guy, huh? Browns defense is awful.
That's your ball education, baby.
There it is. It was well worth the 10 years of student loans I had to pay back. Browns defense is awful. Too many missed opportunities. Let's talk about the missed opportunities, because they made a sticking point of that in the broadcast today. Harrison Bryant fumble inside Raider territory. Jarvis Landry dropped TD pass. David Njoku dropped first down pass in Raiders territory. Landry, now he took a big hit late there in the game, but he misses or drops another pass there, and then the missed field goal. That's 5 missed opportunities in a 2-score game, a 10-point game.
Can't have it. Can't have it. And that's the second big, after the not handling toughness and physicality well, second big point, you just laid it all out. You cannot have those type of miscues and not be able to convert and keep drives alive. And, I mean, that would have been a tough catch for Jarvis in the end zone, the first one, but it came off. He made a sensational catch, and for 15 yards was tiptoeing his way up the sideline and got him in. I mean, I love Jarvis Landry. I do. Again, I felt, he should have caught that football. Baker, to me today, and again, this isn't on Baker either, but Baker today, you saw after they fell behind, that almost the same thing that we've seen in earlier portions of games with Odell Beckham. Landry three times, was bracketed, and then with a linebacker drop, in essence, had three guys around him when Baker tried to fit a football in. I get it. He's the guy now, and you trust him tremendously. But, boy, that tells me, Baker, if you stay going through progressions, there's got to be somebody else that's virtually standing by himself. And if that's a step down, so be it. I know you're behind. You want to make a play. I get it. I understand it. No fault to Baker, but that's just facts. I mean, most when you fall behind, you're being all physical, then you got to take some chances, right? But offensively, Kenny, the Browns today, and the Raiders played in the weather too, and David Carr found a way to sustain drives and move the football and that large time of possession advantage. So again, to me, though, we know the defensive issues, buddy, but I had to get your thoughts on it because again, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, blown out by both of those. And I know they're outstanding football teams. But, hey, listen, that's a division you're in. 4 of your football games are against those two. And then if other teams that say, you know what, let's go in there with the mindset that we're just going to blow these guys off the line of scrimmage offensively and then defensively carve it up in the one game, Kenny, it's going to be tough for this Browns team to win against those type of mentalities with tough, disciplined, good, very physical football teams.
All right, let's throw a couple of more questions up here, Michael, and we'll answer some of these for people. This one from, let's see here, Y2 Josh 76. Browns got outworked everywhere, including coaching. What about Chucky versus Stefanski today? Your thoughts on that matchup as the Chucky doll was roaming the sidelines in Ohio, all bundled up in that snowy weather?
Yeah, I know down through the years you and I have talked about him a whole hell of a lot. I'm a big Chucky guy. I like the way John Gruden coaches. I like his aggressiveness. I like how he gonna get on his players, but he's also gonna let them know, I trust you, I believe you, I got confidence in you going forward on 4th and shorts, right? Knowing that if I need to send some abstract blitzes, we're gonna do it. Anyway, the bottom line is the Browns aren't 100% equipped to handle that right now, and like we said, every team faces it, but going without Nick Chubb, without Odell Beckham, and without Wyatt Teller, the Browns are going to almost have to be perfect offensively to make up for that. And that's a tough go in the NFL.
Yeah, I thought, and I took some flack for this on the radio, and today with the weather, I'm willing to give them a little bit of a pass because you couldn't really throw the ball like you want to, right? Mm-hmm. I thought without Odell Beckham Jr., they would be a better, more balanced passing attack because he wouldn't be coming back to the huddle every time and telling Baker Mayfield, hey, I'm open, get me the damn ball. Now, the one thing you lose when OBJ's out of there is maybe the double coverage that frees up some other guys. So I understand that. But today, Baker, and I want to go back to Stefanski real quick because they brought it up in the bar before I forget. You know how forgetful I can be, Reg. If I don't have a post-it note, I forget. They talked about the weather and how much of a factor it was. Should they have taken the wind in the fourth quarter as opposed to taking the ball to start now they deferred, right?
Yep.
So do you factor that in? And should Stefanski have taken that into the fourth quarter and maybe given up the ball to start the second half because the weather was as much of a factor as he had today?
Yes. I'm very surprised that in that kind of game, when it's probably going to be low scoring, points are going to be at a premium, and certainly it's going to be difficult to maybe, run the offense that you had scripted. That's got to go out the window. So, yeah, I want the wind advantage in the fourth quarter, figuring it's going to be a tight football game, and maybe someone will ask Coach Stefanski about that, why he chose not to.
All right, let's get a couple of more questions up here, Reg, and let's throw this one up here. And this is from David R. Shipe 1. Sloppy, unimaginative, stinker of a game. Bye week started early for them. 5-3, you mentioned it. Had a chance to go 6-2, and really take the momentum into the bye week. Now you go in 5-3, but no Teller, like you said, no Chubb, no OBJ, right? Maybe Jacob Phillips, the linebacker, will be back by then. Who knows? Maybe you get some help in the second. Defensively, they are not good, Reg. They're one of the worst. Now, they only gave up 16 today. The weather helped that. But can this team get better defensively without making any moves if they get some of the guys back healthy?
I don't think so, Kenny. As much as I want to be positive and optimistic about it, I think I said a couple of minutes ago, I believe in Andrew Berry. I trust in him when he made his first draft selection of Jedrick Wills after he had gotten Jack Conklin and Austin Hooper. I went all over Twitter, and because, I was not, he was a part of the Southern Brown regime, and I was very vehemently against that, as little as it lasted. However, Andrew Berry did a terrific job, and I'm going to trust and believe in him, Kenny, that he knows he cannot go into 2021 with, again, most especially this back seven. I'm not going to get after the front four too much, because I think Sheldon Richardson and Ogunjobi are decent, solid inside guys. We know what Myles Garrett is, and hey, how about our man Olivier Vernon with a couple of sacks today in the first half, his first two of the year, on a day when Garrett didn't get there and was a little bit more quiet. So, but Kenny, again, I don't know how you feel. The linebacking core and the secondary is not an NFL quality standard, period. And I don't see how you can win with that. Not in a big way. Yeah. I really don't. Listen, you can't put 35 points up a game offensively. You cannot ask your offense to do that, because you're going to have games where you're going to run into other defenses that are good. And, that's a hell of a lot to ask on offenses, quarter, whatever. You almost know. That's a day whether I know. I get it. But most of the time, let's be honest. If the Browns can't put 30 plus up, are they going to win?
No.
No, they're not going to win.
Right. They're not. That's the one thing we knew coming into this season, that they would have to score 30 or more to win.
At least.
For the most part, it's proven fact. A couple of things I want to get in here. Billy Blystone is checking us out, Reg. He listens, I think, to the Kenny and JT show as well. The Browns forgot how to tackle today. Power run game. Josh Jacobs, man, he was running downhill, wasn't he? And tell him, how is Andrew Sendejo still on? Now, he made a couple of plays today, but come on, man. I mean, that's the old, come on, man. I mean, how he's still on the team, I have no idea. But that power running game, those guys ran through a lot of arm tackles today.
Yeah, they did. And see, to me, that's more of an issue than anything else. Look, when you know that a team is going to be physical with you and they're going to show that we're going to have toughness, period. You can't look at arm. I think Spielman was talking about it a little bit today, too.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, I think, go too crazy on people, but he did a couple of times. You cannot use arm tackles especially out in space. And especially when you're a DB and you got a back coming at you downhill, on an inside power play. If he gets past it, you got to go up and do your very damnedest to shoulder him down, wrap him up. And you can't try to arm tackle people in open space like that. So, I don't know. But that goes back into what you and I both said here. I mean, I just the back seven is going to have to get better. Listen, I really think that Delpit, that was unfortunate. I really think the young man I loved him at LSU. I love the pick. I really think he's got a chance to be a very, very good pro at safety. But again, we don't have him right now. And Sendejo, he wasn't brought here to be a starter, Kenny. He's the fancy guy from Minnesota. But again, honestly, I think we could at least say certainly he is the subpar performance-wise, but he wasn't brought here by Stefanski to start. He was brought here to add a bit of a veteran presence to that secondary. And you're saying, well, he's not a starter. He's not a quality NFL starter. So, I mean, again, that defense must be addressed greatly. And I'm going to hold our belief that Andrew Berry is going to do that in this season.
All right, a couple of others here. I'll just read some of these and we'll react to them. Mark Chalmers always checks in. We appreciate that, Mark. This loss is because of poor defense and dropped passes, plain and simple. Ratbirds turn it over on down against the Steelers. I guess the Steelers came back and won that game.
What's the score? The Steelers win?
28-24 was the last I saw. I guess let me double check that and get a final here and see if I get 28-24.
28-24. Mike Tomlin's a bad man, Mr. Roda. You talked about that a lot.
I wanted him fired after last year.
Then they win a football. You wanted to fire him. Oh, no.
Yeah, I did after last year.
Well, you just don't get those 8-8s, do you?
No, come on now. It's like 3-13, you know?
Last week, then they win a football game when Ben threw 3 picks.
Yeah.
Still won a football game.
So they're in first all by themselves, undefeated. Yeah. Baltimore now with 2 losses. Browns with 3 losses in the division. Let's see. Afternoon R&R reunion from Thor Reap checking us out. We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a couple of trick bag punks dropping some negative comments on Twitter. I'll read you the one. It's hysterical.
Okay.
Billy Blystone. Miles hurt worse than originally talked about today. Let's get into Myles Garrett because this was the first game, Reg, other than maybe the opener, where he was a complete non-factor. Now, during the week, he didn't practice until Friday, very limited Friday, right?
Right.
They said he hurt his knee today. Now, I don't know if it was the knee or more of the ankle. Without him on defense, if he's not wreaking havoc, I think, even though Vernon had 2 sacks, he's got to make plays and Denzel's got to make plays or that defense doesn't stand a chance, does it?
No, that's pretty much it. That's all you got right there. Again, I'm okay with Sheldon Richardson and Larry Ogunjobi. Again, they're decent, solid players. Now, they're not game changers, but those guys aren't going to kill you. That's fine. It's that linebacking core and that secondary again with removing Denzel from that because he is he's playing exceptionally well. I thought he's had a very good year through 8 football games. So, but yeah, I mean, look, they're just limited in terms of this again a million times. You and I talked about this throughout being together. Man, you got to have difference makers and game changers on defense.
Right.
You got to have 3 or 4 for sure. And on the Browns just don't have that, and it's going to make it tough. But by the same token, then I just don't think you can start if you're a Browns fan and you're being honest about it. You can't just go every week. If they get beat, and it wasn't that way today. I understand that. But, you give up 34 and 38 to the Ravens and the Steelers. You cannot expect to win those football games, man. Most offenses aren't going to beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh when you give up 34 and 38 to them. You just aren't. So, again, there's got to be some major improvement there for me, most specifically, and understand the teams that are going to want to treat you like ragamuffins with their physicality. Because your 3 losses that's the 3 losses. Stamped, rubber stamp. That's exactly what it is. Baltimore, Pittsburgh today with the Raiders. I just didn't think they were going to come in and run the football like that.
Man, me neither. I picked the Browns to win by 1. I thought it would be a close game. I picked them to win by 1. I had it 35-34. Then I got the weather report. Figured it'd be 24-23. Give the Raiders credit. Hey, our good buddy Robert Stone is checking us out today. Postgame, what's up, Rob? Michael Smith's checking us out. Jimmy Lucas tuning in today. Matt Anderson and Jim Johnson are watching us today here on Facebook. Mike Zacharias is watching us. My buddy Larry Hall back in the Berg. Watching us, Victor Hill. We both know Victor.
Sure. A lot of familiar names here. Great.
Yeah, familiar names.
They're all checking you out in Browns post games. That's terrific.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about this one I'll put it up on the screen. You can respond to it. This is the worst linebacking core in the NFL from 78. Is it the
Oh,
worst?
man. I wish I could
It's close.
tell you you're wrong, but I don't know. I don't know who I'm gonna bring out that I find to be worse. I mean, it's again. Listen. It's just it's a situation right now that is going to make it very hard to be successful against quality football teams. It just is. I mean, you got 2 more games with the Steelers and Ravens, right?
Yeah.
2 more with them, and you got to play Tennessee too. Although I know Tennessee has slid a little bit, but the bottom line is again, teams like this, the blueprint's out there now. You can overpower the Browns with physicality. So the blueprint's there. What are the Browns going to try to do about it?
All right, Trick Bag Punk checking in with us. You ready for this one, Reg? Got to read.
Sure.
Always have fun with the TBPers, right?
Yep.
Mr. Priceless on Twitter. How about this? No one listens to 2 wash-up scrub media honks like these 2 morons. Officials determined the outcome of the game. End of story.
Wow.
Overturn and Renfro's catch were key in this loss. End of story. Priceless.
Wow.
How about that?
There you go, man. Every time you open a microphone or put a camera on, that's what you got to be ready to deal with, right?
At least he didn't drop any equipment on us. That was
no equipment drop. But, yeah, I don't know the Renfro catch. I guess I thought that it looked like there was a bobble. I don't know if he had it underneath the football secured. There can be movement, but you got to have a hand or both arms underneath the football. But anyway, I mean, look, wow. If who was that from?
No, that was Mr. Priceless.
Mr. Priceless. Mr. Priceless, if that's your takeaway on why the Browns lost, best of luck to you going forward.
A couple of others here. Doyo Paz says 2 biggest plays of the game, the Bryant fumble early and the 3rd and 18 play. And I thought the Bryant fumble was huge early on. You stop them right, you get the ball back. You're driving, you're at about the 30-yard line where he's hitting, he fumbles the football. So the field goal, which I thought was a stupid decision to kick it that early in the game on a 4th and 5 or 6. I would have went for it because of the wind. Thank you, Chucky, on that one. But the Browns come back, and Bryant, good throw by Baker. They're bootlegging him. They're rolling him out. It's the first drive. They're moving the football, and then he fumbles it, and it stopped all the momentum that the Browns had at that point. So I do agree that was one of the biggest plays in that game, I thought.
Yeah, sure. No question about it. Because as you said, you're driving, you're looking for points, and because points at a premium today, as we know, anytime you put a drive together, culminated points, it turned out to be big. I really like Bryant. I think the kid, the 4th round draft pick, Florida Atlantic. I mean, I liked him. He had a real big game last year against Ohio State early on in the year. They get 7 catches for whatever 8. I like the kid. I thought, and Barry went out and got him. So, unfortunately, though, you got to secure the football, though. He was running free there for about 8 yards to 10 yards, and he let it get stripped from him. So, yeah, you got to secure it. You got to put it away, and certainly a tough learning moment for the Rook, right?
Absolutely. Some more coming in on Twitter, checking us out. Steve Waterbury, if you catch the ball, they win. Yeah, there were, 3-4 drops today on a day. It was tough to throw it, so if it's in the vicinity, you got to help your quarterback out. One of them was a big hit on Landry in the end zone there, so he got sandwiched. But the other ones, David and Joke, how the hell get this off my chest here, okay? The Chief. Last week, he makes an unbelievable catch where he catches the back end, basically, of the football, well-covered touchdown. Today, wide open for a first down, and you heard Chris Spielman say it. Why do they body catch the football? Why do so many body catch the football? And that, again, was a big play right there in that contest. Reg, he's got to grab that.
Yeah, I loved when Spielman said that, and Spielman made it very emphatic that, you know what, Spielman, I do not understand why, whether it's a tight end or receiver, get your hands triangled and catch the football with your hands. He's right. These are NFL guys and that's the Joku. Sorry, but he was Absolutely 1,000,000% guilty of that today. Let the ball get into his body off his pads, and that's going to make it a much more difficult catch. There again, too, like I said about Bryant, Kenny, he's running a crossing route, or it might have been an arrow route where he stopped and then he was running free. There was no defender. There was no defender on him, jostling him, and that's what makes that kind of drop to me more egregious, man.
I'm with you 100% on that. Michael Harris checking us out says, very apparent any team that fields an offense can beat the defenseless Browns. Why is Joe Woods still the defensive coordinator? How much is on Joe Woods and how much is on they spent all their money and their draft picks on offense and not on defense in the offseason?
What did I mention when you and I text this morning? Did I not mention Joe Woods said I'm concerned about him?
You did.
Against his football team. Yeah. Listen, I don't want to, because as we said a million times, I have to say it one more time as it relates to Joe Woods. He isn't playing with a full deck talent-wise on that defense he's got to put out on the football field now. So do you want to say then, all right, then it's more incumbent upon him to schematically find a damn way to get some things done? Sure, you could say that, and that's legitimate. But again, just remember, as we said, you cannot tell me that this linebacking core and secondary, with the exception of Denzel Ward, is of quality NFL consistent winning caliber. It's not. It's just not. So, if you're Joe Woods, you really got to take all the pieces and parts and try to move it around, and you're constantly playing chemist in the laboratory, Kenny, right?
Yep.
So, again, sure, and that's his job, and that's what he's got to do. But, again, the only thing I'm going to say in defense of him, man, I don't know if I'd want his job with that linebacking core secondary trying to beat NFL offenses. Not an easy one. Not an easy one.
Couple of more coming in via Twitter here. Rob Hill says, I hate when people blame refs. Refs will make bad calls. Play better and it doesn't matter. Fair argument there, Rob Hill. No question. Jay Hambone 213's got our back, Reg. He says, sounds like, if I remember correctly, a trick bag punk has figured out how to use the Twitter machine today. So, yes, Jesse, you are correct. He did figure that out.
Nice. That's good. Real good.
Scott Zapata says, so the Cleveland D allowing drives of 15 and 13 plays has nothing to do with the loss either, just all the refs. Getting back to Mr.
Oh, I see. That's all we're talking about. From the moment we started is these 8-minute drives, 3 of them, that traveled 80 yards plus at the time of possession was as completely skewed as you're ever going to see in an NFL game.
Yep.
So, there you go. To me, that's the top reason for losing today. The defense couldn't stop a Raiders run game. Last week, when the Raiders had 54 yards rushing in their loss. Was that Tampa Bay? Who did they play last week? Who was that? Tampa?
I think Tampa crushed them, didn't it?
54 yards, right? And this week, what did you say that final number was, Rodan?
Final number for the Raiders unofficially here, 208 rushing today.
Well, who are you going to beat in the NFL if you give up 208 yards rushing and there's a 15-minute time of possession disparity?
Absolutely. Without question, Reg. Hey, Mike Popovich from the Canton Repository checking us out today.
Good man. Mike's a good man. Hello, Mike.
He says, I bet washed-up Mike Popovich could have caught at least one of those passes that was dropped today. Mike, you probably could have, man.
I believe you, Mike.
You play before, but maybe you could have on that.
I believe you.
What else do we have here? A couple more bringing in via Twitter. This one from Mahi D, 123. Mahi D, 120. I'm just reading as they are on here, Reggie.
Yes, sir.
Ball can still touch the ground. Difference was Landry never had control. So talking about the one Renfro caught, and I think on the Renfro one, Reg, I don't think there was a definitive angle that could show whether his arm was underneath the ball and the ball was laying on it, it moved or not. So, and it comes down a lot of times to the damn camera angles. Whether you've got a good look at what you need to see. just like the first one. I thought, who was it, Ruggs? I thought he was in, but they called it a no catch. Had they called that a touchdown grab, there wouldn't have been enough to overturn it, right? So
Right.
a lot of times it comes down to the camera angle. So hard to argue any of those calls today based on lack of camera angles, I guess.
It does. I think that now that the NFL has a few years back said, came out and were very definitive and say, now listen, the football can touch the ground if the receiver has arms underneath it and is controlling it. In other words, if the a tip of the football hits the ground and it's controlled, it's still a catch. So to me, boy, that's the toughest one. And Kenny, you're gonna, whatever way sometimes you're gonna come out on the good end of that, sometimes not. But man, I don't know. I don't know. The NFL might want to look at that a little bit deeper in the offseason. Probably won't, but that to me is always going to cause a lot of controversy.
I'm just checking some final scores here, Reg. How about this? The Bengals getting a win today.
Yeah.
The Titans 31-20. So in the NFC North today, Browns lose to the Raiders 16-6. Steelers beat the Ravens 28-24. Steelers 7-0, Ravens 5-2, and the Bengals beat the Titans 31-20. We'll get to some more of these questions that are coming in here via Facebook, StreamYard, and Twitter. But your thoughts on Joe Burrow and the Bengals real quick. I know the Browns got the win last week, but Burrow threw, 3 bills or 4 bills, whatever it was. He threw a lot of yards against them. Your thoughts on Joe Burrow?
In the 2 games against the Browns, both Browns wins, high scoring affairs. Kenny, he's thrown 100 passes in the 2 games against the Browns. I love Joe Burrow. I've known his dad for a long, long time, Jimmy, who for 16 years has been with Frank Solich as a defensive coordinator before he retired, so he and his wife could go see their son play, in the final year at LSU and then in the NFL. But Kenny, I think it's just going to make, to me, Joe Burrow is going to make the AFC North even more difficult to deal with for the next couple of years because, I don't see those strong organizations in Pittsburgh and Baltimore falling off anytime soon. Those are football program organizations, and when they need to fix something, they will. So now if Burrow and his capabilities can bring the Bengals up in the Division II, it's going to make things all that much more difficult on the Browns. But I'm hopeful the Barry Stefanski duo can have the Browns in this pecking order right there with the other 3.
Quentin Singleton, Pittsburgh wins. Yep, best team in the AFC North, 2-game lead now. And that game today was at Baltimore. So they go on the road in Baltimore, and then they've got Dallas next week with a chance to go to 8-0 at the halfway point of the season. So,
my man, I'm assuming you don't want Mike Tomlin to get the Ziggy or pig slip now, I suppose, right?
Maybe it was Ben Roethlisberger being hurt last year as to why they couldn't win. And Reg, they did it without Devin Bush today, too.
Man, you wanted them to win with Duck, huh?
Duck, Duck, Goose. Yeah. Dynasty over Mason Rudolph. That's the only thing that I will say, Reg. The one thing they failed to do in Pittsburgh, they don't have a backup. If Ben goes down, as we saw, they're screwed. So they got to keep him healthy. Right now, Ben, you got to put Ben in the conversation. I know, everybody's looking with Russ out west in Seattle.
Yeah.
Rodgers for a while was the flavor of the month, but they lost again today. But Ben Roethlisberger, he comes back 7-0 through the first 7 games. And I got to look at his stats. I know they were terrible in the first half, but they went halftime adjustments, no huddle in the second half. And he's got to be in the conversation for most valuable player right now.
Yeah, listen, I'll take 38 years old, but I've told you many. I will take Ben as my quarterback, and let's go play. I'll take him. I'll start my team with them, and I will feel good about that position, and then let's go play. And what they've always done it the right way. I mean, again, that organization is one that understands how you keep perpetuating yourself as winners. And Baltimore's done the same thing, too. I mean, they ain't going anywhere either. So, the Browns know what they're up against in this division, and I think Andrew Berry understands that it's about consistency, stability. He must build that roster, especially on the defensive side. But, let's see what he does here in the next couple of years with more opportunities to do that.
All right, let's throw this one up here. Connie checking us out. Says the weather was bad for both teams. The Raiders handled it better. The game was hard to watch. In case some didn't know this, I have WHBC and the TV on. Nice. The radio's like 8 to 9 seconds sooner than the TV. I like that. Some might not. I'm not giving up on them yet. Connie, thanks for checking us out. We appreciate that. Thanks for the comments. A lot of times, you've got a little TV delay, so if anybody drops an F-bomb on the field, the players, and they're known to do that, they can delay it so you don't hear it, Connie. But, hey, 5-3, Reg?
Oh, damn please, Kenny. All things considered, everything we just talked about, they don't have an NFL quality defense, people. They don't. They're 5-3. I think you should be absolutely ecstatic and thrilled, and certainly if they could continue. Hey, listen, if they go 5-3 again in the second half, now, 3 of those are against Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Tennessee. Okay, but if they could go 5-3 in the second half and just not have any major. They're probably going to make the playoffs at 10-6. So, I'm ecstatic about that, and that's the bottom line. We could, sure. We could say, hey, are they going to win the Super Bowl this year? Of course not. Might they get blown out in a playoff game? Yep, could very easily happen. But there's been roster improvement. And I think there's now most of it on the offensive side of the ball. But again, Kenny, I'm thrilled as someone who wants this team to be successful for the people of the city. I'm thrilled at 5-3 at the break, really. I mean, sure, if 6-2 would have been nice, felt the Raiders were winnable. But again, you got punched in the mouth and got out physical and didn't know what to do about it. I couldn't stop a run game. You give up 150 even to it up, you're probably not going to win. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Somebody said, Roadman, your stats are wrong. Yes, I had to update the stats here. I'll throw it up now to show you what he was talking about. 31 carries for Josh Jacobs, $128 on the ground today, 4.1 yards. The longest run was 16 yards, Reg, but he wasn't the only one. David Carr with a great call on that bootleg to get it down near the goal line. 6 carries, 41 yards for Carr, 5 carries, 29 for Booker. So again, 208 total yards rushing for the Raiders today against the Browns.
Even in this, I'll say it again, even this, era that we play in of just absolutely wild, sometimes high wire, fabulous offensive football. But you show me how many teams win when they give up 200 yards rushing and 39 minutes time of possession to their opponent. Show me. And be many. Not going to be many.
All right, a couple more here, Reg. I'm going to throw this one up here. And see what you think. This is from Big Jugs fan. I think he likes Dolly Parton a lot. He says, great show, guys. Did Hollywood Higgins even play today? Can we get anything for Njoku? Reg, what are you telling Big Jugs fan right there?
Yeah, man. Listen, the Njoku thing is starting to be, how many more days do we have before the trade deadline?
Election Day, Tuesday.
Ooh, right. I tell you, the thing with Njoku is starting to be, a little bit perplexing. You think, I've had people say that I trust you. You're not going anywhere. They told him you're not going anywhere. We'll keep you. But, if Austin Hooper were not injured and playing, how much would Njoku be on the field? They seem to they were going with Bryant more.
Right.
So listen, I'm telling you, if I want Njoku, I might give you a 5. And I would, if you want to try to make, I'd probably offer 6 first. So right. I don't know how you feel. I don't think the comeback, the return is going to be something of great significance. If you think you're going to get a 2 or a 3 for David Njoku, folks, think better. You don't know how the NFL works. You're not.
Hey, Reg, last week, maybe you could have got a fourth because of the nice game. After today, a sixth or a seventh after that drop, right?
Yeah, and I know today wasn't a day because, as we talked about, past games weren't going to be big, but I just found it. I do need to know what happened this week. I saw, what's his name, Tawan Taylor on the field getting reps today. I saw Kadero Hodge back, who obviously was their, I guess, third receiver when they started because they weren't playing. Hollywood Higgins was inactive. So after fourth quarter catches for 54 yards and the game-winning touchdown grab in the corner, I can't wait. I don't know if Donovan Peoples-Jones got maybe 3 reps offensively. So what happened this week?
Don't know.
Was it strictly because of Hodge and Taylor?
I don't know. Great question.
Reps in the personnel groupings before him?
Yeah.
I don't get that. That'd be the first thing I would have asked Kevin Stefanski today if I was in on his postgame.
Let's get another question up here from my buddies at the Canton Clothing Company. Do a great job. They've got sweet Ohio State masks for everybody to wear to battle COVID and everything. Some T-shirts. Go check them out, CantonClothing.com. Can the Browns really afford to give up talent or draft picks before the trade deadline? Reg, Tuesday, you mentioned it. It's this Tuesday. Is there a deal out there that can be made to help them defensively or at wide receiver? I mean, that's a lot of people are saying they need another wide receiver. I would like to go defensively. If I can, I'll be willing to give up a 6th or a 7th round pick to a team that's already out of it, looking for draft picks and wanting to get out from underneath a big contract. But who is that defensive guy out there? And it takes 2 to tango, right?
Yeah, no question about it. And I'm with you. I'm starting on the defensive side of the ball. I felt going into today, Kenny, that they wanted to see, all right, today, you had the big performances from Higgins, Peoples-Jones, and tight end Ricky Bryant last week. And I thought, maybe they're going to want it before they make any kind of move. Because you listen, I guarantee you that Andrew Berry doesn't want. I agree with you 1,000,000%. I would be shocked if he gave up anything above a 6.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't believe that. And I'm with him, by the way. That's the way that he needs to continue to build this football team. I think he had a very strong draft in his first go-round this year. The moment it happened to Ray Kenny, I was like, hey, I wasn't a flashy Brown at all. Bad. But Andrew Berry gave him nothing but A's in his first go-round with this. I think he drafted well and with purpose and with mind to build the roster. So I'd be shocked if they're going to give up draft picks right now, anything other than a 6 or 7 to go get a receiver or a corner or a safety.
All right, we got a tweet here from Bob the Knob. Love the Twitter handle. Dude, I was pissed about the refs' calls, but Las Vegas was getting 5 yards a carry when we knew they were running the football. Refs didn't cost us the game. And he's right. You knew they were going to run Josh Jacobs, right? You knew it was
absolutely right. Yeah.
And they're like, here's what we're running, stop us.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that was, I don't know how long that took to be very apparent. I thought it might be the case, even before we wake up today and see what the weather was. Right. It was a great day today down on the lakefront. I still think that's what John Gruden said. We're going to blow them up on the line of scrimmages and control the game and out physical. And that's exactly
they did it.
Yeah. Any call that you want to say that was problematic or an issue, okay. But my thing is always, Kenny, you and I have been together long enough. How many times do I talk about calls in a game? I mean, yeah, it's like some days you're going to get the benefit of some days you won't. But to me, man, you got 60 minutes to change the course of a game. And if a call's going to beat you,
right,
I got to question what you're all about anyway.
All right, here's one I'm going to put up on the screen, Reg. From Lenny Reich, rookie coach mistake. I know book says defer, but take ball and pick direction in second half, right? I mean,
Lenny Reich.
it was that much of a factor where it altered the game plan. It should alter your decision, shouldn't it, with what they did there?
Yes, and Lenny Reich, he's a Mount Union Purple Raider, man. So he knows about how you win and play system football. Good to hear from you, Len. Absolutely. Kenny and I touched on this about 20 minutes ago. Absolutely. I'm not deferring today, and I'm making sure I got the win in my back in the fourth quarter. Period.
Yeah,
Period.
I'm with you. I agree 100% on that. Tony Sandy says, Browns miss Teller way more than I ever thought. Brings that toughness, nastiness on a day like today where you really needed that, right?
No doubt. That's why I threw him in there, because it's easy to say, but no Nick Chubb, no Odell. Sure. No Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller was playing as physical in the run game, offensive guard, as anybody in the NFL. And I think all of the analysis and the statistics from whomever, Pro Football Focus or beyond, told you that. He graded out his work in the run game was, I mean, I don't even know how you could ask for more from a guy like that. And, remember, for all you John Dorsey haters, that's Dorsey brought him in here.
Absolutely.
And to become he brought it, well, he's going to be a backup. I think Dorsey thought that he could be a real strong starting offensive guard in this league. And thankfully, he's turned out to be that way. And you feel terrible for him because of the injury that it took away what was a terrific year for the young guy.
All right, some shout-outs to Amir Bakari checking us out today here on Facebook or Twitter. Thanks for getting your dose of R&R the new way. Kim Stewart Kaminsky and Jan Hasselbush are also checking us out today.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Everybody checking us out here. Reg, I'm going to throw this one up here and see what you think. This is from our buddy, Big Jugs fan again. Browns have 2s, 3s, and 2 4s, enough to get a safety, Harris from Vikings. So he's talking about draft picks. The Browns have 2 third-round picks, 2 fourth-round picks. Is that enough to get a safety, Harris from the Vikings? Although they won today.
They won today. They won in Orlando and took out A-Rod in the pack.
How about that? How about that? The road teams. Raiders come into Cleveland, win. Steelers go into Baltimore, win. Yep. And the Vikings go into Green Bay and win today.
Correct. Yep, no doubt. I mean, that's what I mean. The Vikings look like they just now. Did you see? You see how much getting Dalvin Cook back there with for them?
They have 4 touchdowns.
Do you have 3 or do you have 4 today?
I think he got all 4.
Did he?
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, that's an elite difference maker, game changer. And in the NFL, that can make all the difference. And again, you go in and beat what everybody considers the top 5 team in the league in their own joint, the pack. So, that's why I say, Kenny, I want to, but you're not going to hear me say, oh, yeah, well, the Browns with games against the Eagles and the Texans and the Jags, we're going to put all them in the win column. We hope so. Yeah, sure. But, boy, they got to go play them. And, you cannot afford to have performances like today, especially when you give up, you give up that kind of yardage and that kind of time of possession. You don't even – I mean, you got the football for 24 minutes in the 60-minute game. It's tough, man. Tough.
How about this one from my buddy Adam Cerny? Browns played like crap. They were dog crap today. He went back to the Sindelar days, Adam.
Love off. And he would be in – well, not his glory. He would be upset, but that would turn him into his glory on a day like today, because there'd be a lot of dog craps coming out of him. But, yeah, I mean, no, they didn't play well today. They did not play well today. And, again, you'd like to have a couple of drops back offensively. I don't know if maybe they could have squeezed out a win if they could have continued those particular couple of drives. But, there are going to be a lot of games when defensively the Browns just can't cope with the other team's physicality on defense. And today was one of them.
All right, let me see here. What else I got here, Reg, via Twitter. I'm checking a bunch of the different things. Brian Angel, Kenny, talk about how horrible the Browns are. Well, defensively, they're horrible. Today, they only gave up 16, but 16 on a day like today is about equivalent to 28 or 32 with the weather and everything like that. But, Brian, I've been trying to tell you, man, since the beginning of the season, before they played the first down of the season, I told you if they're gonna win games, it's gonna be 35-31, 34-28, 38-35. I mean, that's the way this team is built for now, for this year. And guess what? If they end up 10-6, they're 5-3. You spread that out over the second half, 10-6, they're gonna be probably the 6th or 7th seed coming out of the AFC. The bad news about today, Reg, is this. They held the tiebreaker on the Colts if they end up tied with the same record because they beat them head-to-head. The
Right.
Raiders are another team where you're going to battle for one of those. And so the Raiders now hold the tiebreaker on the Browns. But I still think the Browns can be the 6th or 7th seed in the AFC this year.
Yeah, I do too. And what you said is absolutely spot on a moment ago. But you're gonna have to be prepared. Just think of the game 7 days ago down in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's going to have to be, for me, the blueprint for how the Browns win football games. They're not going to win a 13-10 game. I just can't see it. Now, today was 16-6. Elements had a lot to do with that, but they're not tough enough. They're not strong enough. They can't play physical enough to win 13-10. But quite frankly, that's not what the NFL is anymore, Kenny. It's can you put 30 plus up? And if you can, you got a shot. Most weeks, if you can't, you don't have a shot. And so we'll see how the Browns manipulate that going forward.
All right, let me throw this your way, Reg. I did some quick stats here. Baker Mayfield now against teams that are 500 or better.
Oh no.
You ready?
I know what's going.
2 seasons are in the books, so we took the records at the end of the year for all the teams they played if they're 500 or better. This year, if they're 500 or better to this point, 18 teams he's played that were 500 or better. 4-14 as a starter. 5-1 against the Bengals, in his first 3 years. 4-14 against the good teams. How concerned are you about Baker Mayfield as the starting quarterback of this football team moving forward? Because they've got a big decision to make coming up here with that 5th-year option that's worth about $20-25 million they're going to have to decide on.
You're going to have to see proof if you're the Browns hierarchy that it gives you clarity that that's going to change going forward. I still want and believe that Baker Mayfield can be a playoff quarterback here. I'm not going to go any further than that right now, but again, a playoff quarterback here. Now, that having been said, my biggest thing with him, though, Kenny, is it's about pre-snap reads, post-snap reads, and decision making. Look, we know Baker's got he's got the arm skill. He's got the God-given talent to be successful at the position. But those things that I just mentioned to me are going to be the deciding factor. And it's Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski that you're going to have to convince of that. Now, look, he's going to go through next year, and that'll be year number 4. Kenny, I believe at the end of the 2021 season, you're going to have your answer. Or you should have your answer. Again, so do you believe that he can be the orchestrator of making you being a playoff football team every year? And then from there, you take your chances. We're talking about winning championships. But right now, when you bring out those type of numbers that you just brought out, I mean, that doesn't look real promising or something you'd put in the positive column for Baker going forward. That's got to improve and change. You cannot have those type of performances. Again, you play in Pittsburgh and Baltimore 4 of your 16 games. That's a quarter of your – you cannot keep getting blown out by those teams. You cannot, got to be competitive. Got to be competitive, got to believe that you got a chance to win. Now, the whole roster isn't capable of that right now. It's not just him. But at some point, though, as we know, the quarterback's going to be the guy that, you got to start with. So I'm hopeful, but I believe that I really don't want to make that ultimate decision until I get toward the end of year 4 in 2020.
Okay.
I believe that's fair, but I want to see him. Yes, he's got to show that he could start adding some of those things into his tool bag, Kenny. Other than physical stuff that makes quarterbacks, right? Now you got to start something between the years, and mentally he's got some of this where he's going to continue on an upward plane, right?
Without question. Scotty Petrak does a great job covering the Browns at brownzone.com. The latest on Myles Garrett's injury says Myles Garrett said knee injury was painful and not related to the ankle injury that limited him during the week. Said happened early, got worse during the game. MRI tomorrow on his knee.
Oh boy.
Now, if there's Reg, that they've survived Nick Chubb, and supposedly that November 15th game against Houston, there's a good chance he could be back for that, okay? They had the insurance of Kareem Hunt, right?
Yeah.
Baker, they went out and they got an insurance policy there with Case Keenum.
Right.
The one guy they can ill afford to lose on this football team, in my opinion, because their defense stinks to begin with, is the one guy who coming into this game led the NFL in sacks, strip sacks, forced fumbles, Myles Garrett. So hopefully this is nothing serious for Myles Garrett, because that is a major, even with Vernon getting 2 sacks today, that's a major blow if he's hurt and can't play. The good thing is he gets the bye week to try and recover if it's not that serious.
Yeah, he's elite. He's elite. He's a just game changer each and every week. The thing is, when you have guys that other team has got to really put a lot of time into game planning for, well, that tells you, what type of player that is. And so it's certainly hope that Myles is able to continue this 2020 season. Hate to see him losing any more time. We know what happened at the end of last year. And, again, he's an elite football player defensively. So, let's hope that this isn't something that's going to sit him down again.
Kevin Stefanski, according to Scott Petrak, says it's hard to win when you don't keep the ball and you can't get off the field.
And what have you and I been saying for the last 60 minutes?
Right?
There you go. That says it all. And I really, we could go and grab all the tentacles, or a lot of them, off those two things, but the Browns did not do that today whatsoever. A little bit more, certainly not surprising to me in what happened in the first 3 games of the year, 4, and we brought Pittsburgh-Baltimore debacles. Now, that doesn't surprise me. The Raiders, though, having a football for virtually 40 minutes today, and the Browns not being able to convert third downs with drop throws, with poor decisions offensively, but again, more importantly, it's as we know, when the Browns find a way to play halfway decent defensively, which isn't often, they give themselves a shot. Anything else, again, I think the Raiders are kind of a quintessential 500 football team in the league. That's what they are, and look what happened today. When they absolutely controlled the game in virtually every phase, and the most 2 important phases at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
Reg, I'm trying to find it here. I thought I heard on the broadcast today that teams on 4th down, I think they were 12 of 13 and then 13 of 14 against the Browns on 4th down. And that's part of what Kevin Stefanski, forget 3rd down. You hold the team to where it's 4th down and they should be punting, but they look at your defense and they go, no, we got this. And so, 3rd down and 4th down, the Browns are horrific defensively.
Well, 4th and 1, okay, I'm going to understand that. But you said it, how many times are teams converting 4th and 3s to stay on the football field? And you're right. I mean, the 3rd down thing is one thing, but you've allowed 13 of 14 fourth down conversions, and again, they're not all fourth and inches, folks. So that's telling you that's at least almost twice a football game that your opposition is saying a fourth down. We're not going to send the punt unit out or the field goal unit out. Let's keep our drive alive. And they've been successful 95% of those times. So,
and that's why I thought early in the game, Chucky would, forget the field goal with the dog pound in. I thought he was going to go for it there, and I thought it was a big break for the Browns. But unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize because of the Harrison Bryant fumble there. One other note today, thought today was probably the first real bad game because I heard his number called 3 times for 3 penalties for Jedrick Wills, starting left tackle, the rookie left tackle. Probably I don't know how it's going to grade out on all the other plays, but I got to believe that this has to rank up there as one of, if not his worst game as a rookie for the Browns.
Yep, agreed with you. I don't even think I need to see the Pro Football Focus final numbers. Son Cal and I were talking about him during the course of the game without question. And I love Jedrick Wills, Kenny. I loved Andrew Berry making that choice. It's that great choice. I think most fans, of course, I want the sexy guy. He's what the Browns needed. Now, okay, today, he didn't play real well. And I think he's been solid as a rookie, swinging from the right side at Alabama over to the left side in the NFL. And I believe he's going to continue to grow. But correct, today wasn't one that we can he's going to want to remember, or we'll put a gold star by Jedrick Wills. No.
All right, before we get out of here today, Reg, I want to pick your brain about college football.
Yeah.
When is the MAC back? Have they?
Yes, this week.
It is this week, right? When? Yeah. Oh, do you have a game?
Yeah, I've got right at InfoCision Stadium. I've got Western Michigan and Akron on Wednesday night. 6 games. The first 3 weeks are Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Okay.
The final 3 weekends, starting Thanksgiving weekend, 3 straight Saturdays. 6 weeks. Let's hope they can get through it, Kenny. That's like what's happened at Wisconsin this past week?
Yeah.
Man, 22 players and staff that I don't know if they're going to play this week against Purdue. Graham Mertz looks like he is, I know it's only 1 game, but man, that kid looked real good quarterbacking Wisconsin. And so, again, I just, there have been a lot of programs that have had to deal with this, and it's tough, and it's unlike anything we've ever seen. But, it goes to show you, let's just hope that college football can get through the season and have a college football playoff because, that's what you want. And bowl games, too.
Right.
You want to be able for the programs to get those rewards.
Justin Fields has thrown 7 incompletions in 2 games for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They go normally just a ridiculous place to play on a Halloween night on the road, Happy Valley last night, but because of COVID, no crowd in there. But the Buckeyes, they won. I thought they should have won by 4 touchdowns the way they dominated. But, hey, a win on the road is a win on the road. You take that in this crazy season. But Justin Fields playing as well as anybody in the country right now. I know Trevor Lawrence had a head start on him. Alabama quarterback had a head start on him and everything like that. But, the way he's throwing the football and to have Olave on one side and Garrett Wilson on the other, and now they're incorporating the tight ends as well. This Buckeyes team, obviously the best in the Big Ten.
It's not even close to the Big Ten. And no disparity to Wisconsin. Like I said, it was 1 game against Illinois. I believe they're the best program and best team in the West. But I don't know how much we're going to see them again in the next couple of weeks. So, there's no doubt about that. Ohio State has really separated themselves. To me, Penn State, Michigan, Wisconsin are very good football programs, but they have had that gap widen now with what Ohio State's done the last couple of years. And it's kind of looking like that, I don't know, and we've seen, but this is what Alabama has done in the SEC for the last many years, until last year with Joe Burrow and LSU. And, look at them. They lost 3 or 4 games that Burrow and all that talent left Baton Rouge.
At least 2. So I didn't see what they did yesterday. So it's up to 3.
They got blown out yesterday.
Ed's got to be losing his mind. Hey, guys, we got to play defense. Where's Joe Burrow? I need Joe Burrow back. What's going on here? We're losing games. I'm going to get fired. He's got to be losing his mind.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So, yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, look, Ohio State is, absolutely playing at a pace each week that I don't think we've seen in the Big Ten. And it was a different game. I even hate to say it now. Yeah, you go back into the 70s and 80s when Michigan and Ohio State were very dominant and winning every year, but it's a different game then, Kenny. It is a different game then. Though those teams, if they had to, they could win a game 16-10 because their defense was so good. Well, now, man, to me, I don't know how you feel. If you give up 30, that's not bad.
Right.
I'm serious. That's not bad. I mean, you should, if you're a better program, give yourself a chance to win. If you can keep the other team at 30, but I don't think it's possible to keep these offenses anymore in the way the game's played, in the teens and even low 20s. It's just not possible. But, the good program, they're so good offensively. And Justin Fields is phenomenal, man. He is, and I give that young man all kinds of credit because, he went in and couldn't take the starting job at Georgia away from Jake Fromm. He's there for 2 years now. You might say a little bit that, maybe the head coach should have made that move. But if I go back and I haven't looked at it, when he did get in games,
right.
Okay, but he's a freshman and he was young and then a redshirt. So, couldn't take the job there. But, he was real good last year, real good. I mean, he's up that level considerably. He's in complete control as now, the igniter of that offense. And, it not only is absolutely as productive as could be, it looks pretty ting I think
it's easy on the eyes.
It's clean. It's pretty. It's and you know me. I don't need to tell you, but tremendous respect and admiration for the Ohio State program. Always had. But am I this big zealous fan? No. Right. So I'm saying that as someone who loves college football, appreciates college football, and loves guys and programs who excel. And, man, he is one of them. His quarterback play is as good as I think Burrow last year, he's on a pace to do exactly what Burrow did. And the year Joe Burrow had last year for LSU might have been the very best quarterbacking year I've ever seen in college football.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's going to be fun. Right now, it looks like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and then everyone else is playing for that 4th spot, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Notre Dame?
I don't know. Notre Dame. I know how you feel about Notre Dame. But yet again, if they keep winning, now it's going to be interesting to see without Trevor Lawrence, the games at South Bend.
Right.
What happens there? Can Clemson go? See, I think Clemson could still go in. I love Dabo. I think he'll go find a way. I think he'll go find a way to take down Mr. Kelly and Ian Book and crew, but we'll see. We'll see.
But you know what, Reg? If Notre Dame had Ron Powell as quarterback, they'd win the game by 3 touchdowns, and he'd win the Heisman Trophy. My boy Bino would be all over this game, man. God rest his soul, Bino Cook, man.
He'd be in the glory this week, man.
Oh, my.
He'd be on every national show going this week 10 times a day. Yeah.
I'm hanging out with Curly Lambeau up here in heaven watching the game. Cook. But should be fun to see what happens in that game. And then the Buckeyes' next 2 big games are Michigan State, Michigan to close out the regular season. If Fields doesn't get hurt, they're going to be going into that Michigan game 8-0 more than likely.
I just can't see him losing. And I didn't think realistically. And again, he'd say, "Oh, if you're a Penn State fan, I know what you're saying. I get it."
Yeah.
Micah Parsons might have been the best defensive player in college football this year. Sure. He opted out. Then you lose Journey Brown. You lose Noah Kane, 2 outstanding running. I get it. I don't think they're beating Ohio State anyway. Again, that is no disparaging those 3 guys I just mentioned. They're all tremendous players. But, Penn State last week just absolutely imploded against, 3-1 in yards, 3-1s at time of possession, and missed 3 field goals. Clifford threw 2 picks, fumbled enough. They should have beat Indiana and didn't. Yeah. And now they're 0-2. So they're done.
Yeah, stick a fork in them. They're done. Hey, shout out to Wendy checking us out on Facebook today. A little R&R, loving it. Thanks, Wendy. Appreciate that. Tell your husband we said hello. Diehard Cavaliers fans always like to what is now. Let's see. It was Gund Arena, then it was Quicken Loans Arena, now it's Rocket Mortgage Field. I've lost track. I got to learn that for when we do our Monsters games again, so I don't screw that up on the air, Reg.
Hey, that's right, buddy.
Yeah, this was fun. We'll do this again before the season's over, all right?
I appreciate you having me. Always love joining you, and keep doing your stellar job, my man.
All right, sounds good. Tell Cal Patty I said hi, and we'll talk again.
Pat says hi, Cal.
There we go. That's my guy right there. Hard to believe. He's a senior, right?
Senior at Westlake High School. Yes, I know. Man, I know.
I mean,
yeah. Looking forward to the senior basketball season. Should be a pretty decent squad in the Southwest Conference, and we'll see how it goes. You've been down that road too with Cameron.
Absolutely. Enjoy those games, man. All right.
I love it.
All right, Reg, be good. We'll talk again down the road. There is Michael Reghi checking in with us here today on the Browns post-game show. Let's wrap things up here, give you some final numbers, and then let you go on your merry way. Thanks for checking us out today here on the Browns post-game show. Browns lose to the Raiders 16-6. Let's put the numbers back up for you. You see when they play next. The Browns have a bye week next week, and then they are at home against the Houston Texans November 15th. That's their next game. Here's what the numbers look like for the Browns. Not good. Baker Mayfield under 500 or 50% throwing the football, under 200. Again, the weather had something to do with that. A lot of drops today as well. You'll see the running game there. Josh Jacobs, 31 carries, $128. That was huge. David Carr with a touchdown pass. Total yards, 309 for the Raiders, 223 for the Browns. 208 yards rushing for the Raiders, 101 for the Browns. 101 yards passing for Las Vegas, 122 for Cleveland. Third down, 8 of 14 the Raiders were on third down. I believe 2 of 2 on fourth down as well. So that's 10 for 16 on third or fourth down. Couldn't get off the field, that defense. Browns were 3 of 10 on third down. Penalties, 7 for 60 yards for the Browns, 5 for 25 for the Raiders. Browns turned it over once. It was extremely costly. First drive of the game, Harrison Bryant, you're driving in Raiders territory. Chance to take the lead, build momentum, play from ahead on a windy, cold, nasty day. And Bryant coughs it up at the Raiders' 30-yard line. Time of possession, 38-22. 38 minutes for the Raiders, 22 for the Browns. So they lose. They fall to 5-3 on the season. Give you a look at the early games, the final scores that I've got for you. Browns lose to the Raiders 16-6. Bills beat the Patriots 24-21. Steelers go into Baltimore, remain undefeated at 7-0, beat the Ravens 28-24. Ravens now 5-2 on the year. Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, first start. He gets a win over the Rams 28-17. He threw his first touchdown pass as an NFL quarterback in that game. Joe Burrow, Bengals, how about that at home? They beat the Titans 31-20 today. The Chiefs all over the hapless Jets, who are still winless. Chiefs win at 35-9. The Colts doubled up the Lions. Almost doubled up the Lions. 41-21 the final there. And the Vikings go into Lambeau and surprise the Packers 28-22. Your Thursday night game, the Falcons beat the Panthers 25-17. Games that are currently going on: Chargers against the Broncos, Saints versus the Bears, 49ers taking on the Seahawks right now. Late game tonight has the Cowboys at Philadelphia in the battle for first place in the worst division in the NFL, the NFC least. That's at 8:20 kickoff tonight. And then tomorrow night, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are on the road to dismantle the Giants. That's your Monday night game. All right, so that's going to do it for this edition of the Cleveland Browns post-game show. Thanks to my old radio partner, Michael Reghi. We rekindled a little R&R for you here on this Sunday evening. We'll be back. We may do something next week, even though the Browns are on a bye week. We may do something. Look, there's Frankie. Say hi, Frank. Say hi to everybody, Francis. Huh? You going to eat my computer? Is that what you're going to do? There he is. It's my golden retriever, Frankie. We may do something on the bye week next week, so stay tuned via Twitter and Facebook. I'll let you know. We definitely will be doing the Buckeyes post-game show next week for sure. It's a 7:30 start against Rutgers at home, so join us for the Buckeye post-game show after. Until we meet again here or on News Talk 1480 WHBC Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. on the Kenny and JT show. You can find us there. Do me a favor, please. Wash your damn hands, wear your damn mask, social distance, and treat others like you want to be treated. It really is that simple, folks. Have a great week, everybody. See you. Bye.